Ann Coulter, of course, the great columnist, best-selling author. You should get her latest book. I think it's her best ever, Resistance Is Futile, and you can get the new column and everything, AnnCoulter.com. Make sure you follow Ann Coulter on Twitter. Ann Coulter, how you doing?
Fantastic. How are you, Mark Simone?
Very good. These Democrats, they fall for this every time. They get sucked into this whatever tactical move Donald Trump is making, and now he's forced them to all back the squad and put the squad center stage in the Democratic Party.
Yes, I really enjoy the feeling of our legislators in Congress and the White House spending all of our time making America a better place, dealing with the crisis at the border. No, I couldn't even watch any of it. Though I do think it was a little ham-handed in one way. I liked the tweets when they went out, the tweets that Trump sent, retweeted them. I even searched at the advanced Twitter search to make sure Trump had not named those four women, and it appears that that was a total invention by the media. They always do this. You know, you say lowering taxes will boost the economy, and they'll say, "Well, do you agree with Ann Coulter that we need to bring back slavery?" Is that what you're saying? Is that it? Is that it? And that's exactly what they did here. I don't have the energy to defend this guy anymore. And he fell into it and acted like he was talking about these four. No, he was. I mean, look at the tweet. It says progressive Democratic women born in other countries that are corrupt, violent, and dangerous come to this country and lecture us on how we should do it. Hey, maybe they should go back, fix their own countries, return, and tell us how it went. Okay, so that would be Ilhan Omar. I would say the Rashida Tlaib. Okay, she's second generation Palestinian up in Detroit, but I'll throw in second generation to that. There's the Indian woman from Seattle. Those are three off the top of my head. Those three are the ones he's talking about. How did Ayanna Pressley get into this mix? The descendant of American slaves whose relatives have been here since around 1600, so that they can sit back and laugh at him and say, oh, they were born here. Her relatives are here longer than No, he didn't say that. You came up with these four names, and then he starts referring to the four, totally blowing the whole thing.
Well, but if you're these Democrats like Schumer, where you're just trying, all you care about is donors, lobbyists, money, power, and you're going to just talk about infrastructure, now all of a sudden you're tied to these four lunatics, and you got to spend the next year defending them. It does screw them up.
It totally screws them up. Poor Nancy Pelosi. Never thought I'd say that. Though it is, the left is on to this trick. I mean, they're all saying that. Frank Bruni in the New York Times, Trump wants to run against AOC. But, something else Frank Bruni said in that same column, I think it ran today, I read it online, he, as well as far left writer Kevin Drum in Salon, a few other places, I've noticed that these far left liberals are saying, Democrats, you're getting a little crazy. Just because Trump is something, as Bruni says it, Democrats have decided they'll be the antonym to Donald Trump. So just because, now this is in Bruni's description of it, that Trump says vile things about immigrants, you don't have to come out for open borders. And that's what Kevin Drum was saying. He says, Democrats, how can you deny you're for open borders? And then he lists Elizabeth Warren's position and says, how is this not open borders? Who gets turned away? So, even the far left in this country is noticing that when your moderate Joe Biden is more left-wing, far more left-wing, certainly on things like immigration, than even Obama is, this isn't going to punish Trump by running some utterly unelectable Democrat. But I don't see how they have a way out for that. I mean, it's odd. I think in many ways the conservative network is very bad for the Republican Party. It was, you may recall, Fox was hysterically anti-Trump for all of 2015 and all of 2016 until he actually got the nomination. It got to the point that after the Republican debates, I would play Karnak. What was it? Johnny Carson used to do
Karnak. Yeah.
Was it Karnak the Magnificent?
Yeah.
Okay, Karnak the Magnificent. All Fox News analysts will say Rubio won the debate. And then, all the polls would go up and everyone across the board, Trump won, Trump won, Trump won. Well, similarly, MSNBC, I mean, actually, very similarly, not even a mirror image of it, has been a disaster for the Democrats because it's MSNBC, I think, and some of their ilk, but especially MSNBC, CNN, are really pushing the Democratic Party into such a left-wing position. I mean, they're going to get me to vote for Trump.
Well, there you go. So, hey, is there something odd about this? You break into a country, and then you complain about their detention centers. I mean,
no, the point he was making was absolutely legitimate. And by the way, turn on MSNBC and you'll see a bunch of immigrants haranguing us. Ali Velshi, Joyanne Reid. They get here, get a free ride, and then they're going to lecture us on our racism. Yeah, of course, everybody's sitting back and thinking, hey, didn't you guys just get here from an utterly failed society? Maybe you should keep your mouths shut for a few generations and see how it's done.
Well, so we see how bad it is, the anger, the hatred, the fighting, all that. What's going to happen the day after Trump wins re-election? What is going to happen with all this?
You're very optimistic.
I mean, if it's this bad now, what's going to happen the day after the election?
Business as usual. What's going to happen? Well, for one thing, look, the nightmare scenario is, even though it does seem that the Democratic Party is doing everything it can to lose this election, I mean, keep in mind, Trump won in 2000. Incumbents generally win. Yes, it's true. I'm not saying he's going to lose, but I'd be a little less cocky about the election. Trump won by 80,000 votes spread out over 4 states in the industrial Midwest. He has not particularly kept the promise. He has not at all kept the promises that were central to getting those voters out. Some don't care. They just I voted for McCain. I'm not a good test case. I'll vote for anyone who isn't a Democrat. Usually, but 80,000 votes isn't that much, and I can tell you they're not going to be caught sleeping this time. How many voters do you think, with everyone? The New York Times, the day of the election, said that Hillary had an 87% chance of winning. There were all kinds of polls saying it was 98%. The cockiness with which they went into that race. So, a lot of Hillary voters may have thought, I'll just say I voted for her, but I'm busy. I don't have time to drive down to the polls. Yeah. Not one of those people is going to forget to vote in 2020.
Well, on both sides, though, so...
Well, I don't know.
I'd say we're out of time, but everybody should get, especially you crazy Democrats yelling and screaming, you should get the book Resistance Is Futile. If you want to resist Donald Trump, you can learn a lot from it. It's Ann Coulter's latest book, Resistance Is Futile. And you can get the new column and everything at anncoulter.com, or follow Ann Coulter on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff. And Ann Coulter, thanks for being with us.
Good to talk to you, Mark Simone. Bye-bye.
All right, take care.